The Cartoon History of the Universe 2, Volume 12, Return unto Caesar. Let's get started. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode on the channel, and today we will be talking about Caesar, at least the return of Caesar. Not Julius Caesar, his nephew. In our last volume, if you remember, we've been through Rome and how it seems to work. So now what we're going to do is find out its aftermath. So let's see how Augustus Caesar sees this way. So let's see currently at Rome. Augustus, a triumph Augustus is coming back to Rome and started doing a lot of, according to him, terrible and hard things. Okay, maybe not terrible, but at least something just annoying enough to at least get him on his nerves. And let's talk a bit about victory. Now, this part will be in 3 sections. I don't mean the video will be in like 3 videos, but it will be split into these sections. So, firstly, let's talk a bit about this victory. There was this guy, Augustus himself, went all the way to different places. I mean, he's the emperor of Rome. How could he not? And he seriously got Pompey the Great, at least that's what we now know him as, to help him. Pompey the Great used to be on the other side, and pretty much he switched sides. His friend wanted to switch sides, but he was murdered before he could. Wow, I'm still surprised Larry even put that in there. Anyways. Here's an interesting story. Oh, okay. This will probably be best in cartoon format. There was this guy named Achilles, and he was having dinner. After getting some followers, that is, he heard some rants called Justice or Death. Justice or Death. And this, to be honest, became one of my favorite quotes from this volume. Justice or Death is a very strong words to say. When negotiations failed with this Achilles guy and the people who were chanting justice or death, he sent in the army. And that the army butchered everyone, and he basically fled the city and was, okay, not never heard from again. He was heard from again, but just not in the way we might think. Back to Augustus. Augustus is now worried. There is another thing that I would like to talk about before we approach this subject: Christianity. Now, as you may have known in your history class, you probably slept in there, if you remember when that is. For Christianity, it was never the most popular religion back then. As you know, Jesus Christ is actually the main reason why Christianity even sprung up. Jesus, as we all know, was said to be the Son of God, and he could technically just relive himself, if you believe those stories, that is. Well, I don't. And I don't want to sue anyone, though. So let's just get on with this. After Jesus Christ was crucified, or I guess for some people who don't really like that word would say murdered. In the Bible, there was this lady named Mary Magdalene, and Mary Magdalene, well, I'm not saying Da Vinci Code here. Mary Magdalene was said to have seen Christ, and the man didn't believe her. I mean, yeah, I can technically believe that. And the surprising thing is that's where the Bible seems to stop talking about Mary Magdalene. Very confusing place to start talking about Mary Magdalene, but well, just good enough, I guess, to give a open hanger. I mean, this is one of the basic things and topics about the Da Vinci Code, but just watch my video on the Da Vinci Code for that one. Moving on, back to Augustus again. This time, he needed someone to inherit his empire. He was getting old. He started asking his he started asking his daughter Julia to marry people. Who, for some reason, the first one died, the second one died. The third time he didn't even try a husband. Basically, he just got someone else to get him. He just got someone else to inherit the empire. Basically forced a person to just get out, to divorce his marriage and to marry her daughter, who was an alcoholic. His daughter was Spanish. Very unexpected, as you would say, and it is very unexpected. And this is where history seems to get confusing. In the several past volumes, history has been confusing, and I will say, I'm not surprised that you think of it as well too. If you even complete this video, is very confusing. That is confusing as it may be. Let's still try to see how it is. Okay, so let's start with some baptism again. There's this guy who was baptized, and it was said that baptism just washed away all the sins, if sin was like dirt, that is. And this guy had some enlightenment. I mean, people were almost drowned there. I mean, they would be like having enlightenment and stuff. And he started getting people onto his side by promising them immortal life, and eventually a foreskin. I'm not saying more. This is technically a mini series of the universe, of the Cardinal Universe's books, but I'll say I'm not going to spoil everything for you guys. Although his religion has a lot of rabies, they really don't make any sense. I mean, the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed. What does that mean? And one guy said, only by drinking my blood and eating my flesh shall you be saved. Confusing, right? And doesn't really make sense. Even the nicknames don't make sense. Some people, just two brothers called the Sandersons. I mean, does that even make sense? It's not much of one thing, too. None of this is making sense. I'm not making sense. Read the book to find out more. So let's talk about something that really does make sense. Or if you believe in magic, that is, a prophecy. If prophecies did exist, which we'll say it did, there is one powerful thing that could have proven that prophecy to be fulfilled. First of all, there is a way to just get everyone to be to be contained by God, basically getting God's spirit into their bodies. I'm speaking this in the dummy way for dummies. And every Christian was outlawed. Their prophecy was to just expand through the whole world, and they almost did. I mean, converting other people to Christianity is one thing, but doing things that is against Christianity might be another. Let's talk about that in a separate volume, most likely volume 13. And that's all about Christianity, and the end of volume 12 of our today's topic. But note here that history is not always like the logical way that can be explained clearly, like how the textbooks would say they would. It's all twists and turns, and be expected for more. Until then, see you. Bye bye. Shannon out.